Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating ancient Buddhist text. Now, this isn't just a story about a mythical, eagle-like creature called the Supaṇṇa. What's wild is that it gives a detailed, step-by-step formula for how a person could actually become one after death. Yeah, you heard that right. This is all about power, cosmic hierarchies, and the ancient idea of shaping your own destiny.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you could choose? Not just, hope for a better future, but actively follow a recipe to be reborn as a legendary creature with immense power. It sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel, right? But for the people who wrote these texts, this was a very real possibility, and there was a clear, achievable path to get there. So, how in the world was it supposed to work?
Okay, so first things first, let's get to know these creatures. The texts are super clear that not all supaṇṇanas are created equal. Their power, their status in the cosmos, it all comes down to how they were born. And there are 4 very distinct ways this can happen.
So to be clear, a supaṇṇa is a seriously formidable being. You can think of it like a massive, intelligent, divine bird. And they're maybe most famous for their eternal conflict with the Nagas, these mythical serpents or dragons. Now, this feud is actually key, because as you're about to see, a supaṇṇa's power over the Nagas is directly tied to the way it came into existence.
The first type of birth is pretty much what you'd expect, undija, or egg-born. Just like a regular bird, these supaṇṇas hatch from eggs. Simple enough, right? This is our baseline. Next up, things start to get a little bit stranger. We have the jalabhuja, which means womb-born. So these supaṇṇas are born in a way that's more like a mammal. For a divine bird-like creature, that's already a pretty big departure from the norm.
The third type is where it gets even more mystical. The samsetija are the moisture-born. They're said to just arise spontaneously from dampness or humidity, like appearing from the dew on a leaf. At this point, we've left conventional biology way behind, and we're deep in a purely magical realm.
And finally, we have the most powerful and extraordinary origin of them all, Oppapattika, the spontaneously born. I mean, just imagine a being that doesn't need an egg or a womb or even moisture. They just appear, fully formed. They aren't born of flesh and blood, but from pure mind and energy.
Now you might be thinking, okay, 4 interesting origin stories, so what? Well, this is where it gets really fascinating. These 4 birth types aren't just labels. They actually establish a rigid cosmic hierarchy. A supaṇṇa's origin directly determines its power. It's literally a cosmic pecking order.
And here is where that whole conflict with the Nagas comes back into play. The texts lay out this incredibly clear cosmic food chain. An egg-born supaṇṇa can only hunt an egg-born Naga. Makes sense. But a womb-born supaṇṇa, well, it can hunt both egg-born and womb-born Nagas. You see the pattern here? It goes all the way to the top, where the spontaneously born Oppapattika is the undisputed apex predator. It can hunt Nagas from any of the 4 birth types. The message is crystal clear. Your origin dictates your power. So that brings us to the core mystery. We know what these creatures are and how they're ranked in the cosmos. But the ancient texts don't just stop there. They go on to provide a specific, actionable guide on how a person could make sure they were reborn into this powerful state. And this is the exact question that gets asked in the source text. A monk, who is obviously just as curious as we are about this incredible possibility, basically asks for the recipe. And the Buddha's answer lays out this precise formula. It's a combination of action, intention, and, well, generosity. The foundation for this whole process, the absolute starting point, is a concept called dvayakari. You can translate it as a twofold practice, but what it really means is living a life of total integrity, a life where your actions, your words, and your thoughts are all consistent and ethical. This is the non-negotiable first step on the path. But here's the thing. Just living an ethical life isn't quite enough to get you this very specific rebirth. The Buddha outlines a very precise 3-part formula. It combines your actions, a powerful and very specific wish, and one final crucial ingredient. So let's see how it all fits together. So here it is, the complete plan. Step 1, you live that ethical, twofold life we just talked about. Step 2, you hear or learn that the supaṇṇanas live these long, beautiful, joyful lives, and that knowledge sparks a powerful aspiration, a really deep, focused wish to be reborn among them. But it's that final step that really seals the deal. You have to back up that wish with specific acts of giving. And get this, the texts are incredibly specific about it.
Giving isn't just some vague, nice idea. It refers to providing these 10 specific types of gifts. Things like food, drink, clothing, lodging, even lamps. Every single one of these generous acts is seen as fuel. It's what powers your intention and turns a simple wish into a future reality.
So let's just step back for a second. Whether you believe in mythical Supaṇṇas or not isn't really the point here. What this whole story gives us is a really powerful illustration of a core principle in this worldview, a principle about how destiny is actually shaped. It all boils down to a simple but pretty profound equation. In this way of thinking, your future isn't about random luck. It's about deliberately aligning your consistent actions, your ethics, your generosity with a powerful, focused intention. According to this philosophy, that combination is the engine that literally creates your future. This wasn't just abstract philosophy, it was treated as a kind of spiritual technology, a way to make a concept like karma feel tangible and controllable.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The ancient formula was for becoming a supaṇṇa, but the principle behind it is universal. It asks us a very direct question. If your intentions, when they're backed up by your actions today, truly do shape your tomorrow, what would you aspire to be?